All right, welcome everyone to our body tune-up class. So in this class, we'll be kind of moving our joints, stretching our muscles, um, working on balance, whatever you guys need to be worked on. That's the class for today. So pretty light, nothing too crazy. Heart rate shouldn't go up. Really shouldn't be breaking the sweat. So we'll start from our chair. Try to work as many joints and muscles as we can from here. And then we'll do might do some balance work in between. And then we'll just go kind of back and forth. So, right, ready? So let's just start by sitting down, looking left to right. If you guys have any requests, just go on the chat and let me know. You want to stretch the shoulders a little bit more, your neck, your calves, just let me know. Let's go up and down. Some neck circles. And switch directions. And let's go ahead and center our left hand right under our hamstring. And then let's grab our right hand, bring our left ear, go hold that and just pull off to the side. Stretch the left side of your neck. All right, let's go ahead and switch. Let's continue holding that stretch. Just gonna grab my water. Okay, all right, now we're gonna go ahead, have our hands in front of us. We're gonna bring our chin down. And then once you've done that, I want you to push out with your hands even further. You should feel stretch on your upper back. So in here, down, push. Relax. We're gonna do that 3 more times for about a 10-second hold. Out, down, push. You got one more. Very good. Awesome. All right, we're just gonna go ahead, reach towards the ceiling with our hands. Just reach, just stretch. Lean right. Feel that stretch in your left side, left ribs. Let's go right. Let's go left. Okay, now we're gonna do one for our back. After this, we'll do one of our balance exercises. For our back, same. You're gonna be up here, and imagine you have claws on your hands, your fingertips, and we're gonna kind of scratch the cat pose. So just reach from the top, and then just pull all the way down, and just bring in. You're gonna repeat that 8 times. Okay, so make sure your hips don't leave the chair. Okay, they stay planted. Continue. So it goes to loosening you guys' up. Be nice and relax before you start your day. 2 more. Okay, all right, so we're gonna get on our feet. And now we're gonna work on a little bit of balance. This one's really easy. Here we're just gonna stand about, maybe my feet are about an inch or 2 apart from each other. I'm just gonna stand here for about 30 seconds. And I just want you to recognize if you feel some imbalances, if your ankles are shifting left to right. It's kind of how we find out if one ankle is a little bit weaker than the other. All right, now we're going to look left to right here. Also getting a nice little neck stretch, but we're also throwing our equilibrium off by doing this. So this might be enough for some folks to feel uncomfortable, maybe not feel safe under 2 feet. So you gotta shift their pressures and forces around their ankles and their feet. So they're balanced, not up and down. All right, now we're going to close our eyes. Okay, so for this one, if you feel like you're falling or unsafe, just open your eyes and give yourself a wide stance. We have a nice, big, larger surface area. So again, just close your eyes here. All right, open your eyes. Let's elevate your right foot about, I say about half an inch off the ground, just enough that you can slide a piece of paper between your foot and the floor. You just want all the pressure on that opposite or that other foot. I'll switch. All right, very good. Let's grab a little bit of water. Try to make the habit to drink water about every 10-15 minutes. At least I have to, since I'm talking and I can feel my mouth getting dry. So, all right, now we're gonna start going back on the chair, and we're gonna work on some shoulder stuff. Okay, so for our shoulders, or for many mobility exercises, you could do a lot of the same movements that you would do with dumbbells at the gym. You would just freehand, no body weight, so or no equipment. So the first one we're gonna do is just gonna be lateral shoulder raises. So again, at the gym, you would have dumbbells here at your side. Be working on shoulders. I say, when we're doing mobility, flexibility like this, I usually go until my muscles feel warm or a little bit more loose. The movement gets a little bit easier, which is usually somewhere between 10 to 15. Okay, so that could also fatigue your shoulders. So we're gonna do many for our shoulders. It's a request that I get often. So this one we're gonna do some shoulder rotation. So pretty much your shoulders going forward. I don't know if you're gonna call this clockwise. All right, now reverse. Okay, now we're gonna bring our shoulders towards our ears. Okay, so we're just gonna have a big old shrug and drop those hands down, up. Again, just continue. We'll do about 6 for each one. All right, awesome. Rotate to you guys now. Now we're going to go ahead into our shoulder. I don't have a name for these, but kind of bring them up here. I want to see. We're just going to drop that hand forward. So keeping that shoulder fixed. That's why I put my hand here. So I recognize that if it's dropping, I can fix it. So just up and down. I mean, it looks like an L. We can call these shoulder L's. Someone has the actual name for these, just let me know. Everyone has different names for different stretches or the same stretch. So again, just working on that shoulder joint. I will switch. Very good. just kind of relax that there. So this next one, again, just continue with our shoulders. We're going to keep our arms up here, covering our faces with our forearm. Then we're going to separate and back. Really try to bring those elbows as far back as you can. Awesome. All right. Next, we're going to continue with some shoulder work. So here we're just going to go with front raises. So hands are at your side. Just come up here. Up a little bit higher. There's no pain. Okay. All right. So continue making our way down our body. We'll do one more for the shoulder. That's going to require our arms to be down. So bring your right elbow back to your side, and we're just going to help these door openers. And just open here. We're just bringing our forearm to our body and then away while keeping that elbow at our side. Switch. Awesome. Okay. Now we're going to start working on our arms. So one way to do that is just regular bicep curls. It's going to work on our elbows, elbow joint, a little bit of tricep extension going on there. And our biceps too. Now we're going to do cross curls. So this is going to work on the lateral side of your biceps, so that outside part of your biceps. You're just bring that opposite hand to that opposite X. Okay, right now we're going to do reverse curls. Okay, so that's also going to be working on a different little angle of your biceps. So now my palms are facing the screen. I'm just going to go down and up. You might even feel this a little bit more on your triceps. Okay. All right, so let's take a break from the chair. Working another balance exercise. So now we're going to fit our right foot in front of our left. Okay. We're just going to hold this stance again for about 30 seconds. All right, we're going to look left to right. Remember, if it feels, if you feel unbalanced, or like it's too much for you, just separate your legs. Give yourself a bigger surface area. And now up and down. I feel your ankles shaking. I feel mine. And then here we're going to close our eyes for 30 seconds. Again, open your eyes and spread your legs so you have a wider surface area. We have our classes that cover balance on Sundays, Monday mornings, and then on Wednesday afternoons. So, in case you're interested. All right, open your eyes. On this one, we're gonna keep the back leg. So on this case, the left leg elevated. So kind of leaning forward. So my left leg is elevated. I'm gonna be on one foot. Keeping that left leg behind me. Drop it. Okay. All right. All right, so now we're gonna make our way back to our chair. Grab some water. Again, if anyone has any requests on a joint or muscle group you guys are gonna work on, please just let me know in the chat. Okay, so next we're gonna work on our forearm and our wrists, our fingers, knuckles, and then just kind of work on that too. So something that gets overlooked, I think, some other classes that I've joined, but let's go ahead. Let's allow the wrist kind of collapse over the knee. So shouldn't be resting here, should be a little bit past it. Just reach down, and then I'm just gonna push down a little bit further back as long as there's no pain here. Remember, we don't want to do any movements or stretches that cause pain. You know, I think sometimes we have that confusion that if it's not irritating our muscles, it's not doing any good. We get a lot of that with foam rolling. So, and then just relax, push down. Right. Do about 5 of these little pumps. 8, 4, 5. Still on that same hand, we're going to go ahead and just bring every finger to the center of the hand. Now, I want you to do this by trying to keep your knuckles locked. So keeping those fingers straight. And I'll tell you why. That's because we're trying to work on the knuckles that are in this part, that lower region of the hand, or of the, I guess, the finger joint, the one closest to the hand. That's what we're working on. So that's where we're keeping them straight. Okay, and then now I want you to bend at every knuckle and bring that to the center of your hand. Okay, so if that makes sense. So now we're folding every knuckle, we're bending every knuckle. That might require a little bit more control. Again, because we're working on one finger at a time. We're working at every knuckle that's on there. So it's those extra 2 knuckles. Okay. Once we've done that several times, let's just make a fist. Just relax. And then working on all those knuckles together. All right, and then let's just make some little rotations, just a little bit of movement around the wrist. Again, not causing any pain. So you could just kind of go side to side. And I think there's about 20 something bones. I forget. I haven't taken my anatomy class in years, but I remember there's over 20 bones on the hand. And if you have that opposite hand, just kind of holding your wrist and you're doing these movements up and down, just left to right. You could feel the tendons working with that other hand. So, okay. So let's go ahead and work on the wrist with that opposite hand. So again, allow it to collapse over, and then we're going to push down. Relax. We'll do about 3 more of those pumps. So again, down, push. Down. Okay. 2 more times. Okay. Another one. Very good. Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to work on keeping those fingers straight, bringing them to the center of your hand. Now let's work on every knuckle being bent and bringing that to the center of our hand. And on this hand, I'm trying to do 1 knuckle at a time or 1 finger at a time, but there's less control. It is my less dominant side. So as I'm trying to move 1 finger, you know, the other fingers around it also want to move. I don't think I'd be a good guitar player. All right, now let's make that fist open. All right. Awesome. Okay. So that kind of does it for our upper body. As far as shoulders, neck, we still have to stretch our back. We did a little bit of that, but we could stretch our back on the floor in a later movement. Okay, so now we're going to work on our hips, our hip flexors, our groin muscles, piriformis. So, all right, we'll be working on that now. So this is one of my favorite stretches here. You'll probably see me doing this one a lot. So we're going to bring our right heel over our left knee. Okay, and then we're just going to hang out here, kind of let this stretch alone, do a little bit of work, and then we'll do some variations of this one shortly. Okay, so we'll usually hold each stretch for about 25 to 30 seconds. I'll do 20 if I'm rushing, but I always kind of want to get a warm up in. And typically before I do a workout, let it be a run or a gym workout. I want to say that I probably feel the best during the workout on Sundays, right after these classes. So after this class, I'll probably just eat a little something and work out. Let's push that knee down a little bit. So you could push down just like that, or I like kind of leaning on it. So yeah, I just feel a little bit more relaxed. Muscles are a little bit more stretched. Every joint's been activated for the previous hour or so. And then there's times where, I used to do this a lot in college when I was competing in track cross country. Wake up we had practice at 7. My alarm would go off at 6:50. And we lived about half a mile from school, which would take us around that time, maybe about 4 minutes to run. So yes, I was up, throw on my clothes, put on my shoes, jog half a mile, and then start running and I was sleeping 10 minutes prior. Now let's bring that knee up. And I probably felt sluggish most of the run until about maybe the last mile or two. So if I went 8 miles, maybe the last 10, 15 minutes actually felt good on an hour-long run. So that's why I think it's very important that we get some type of stretching in early in the morning. If you can get a stretch in, or if you forget what stretches to do, or if you just don't want to be sitting down doing a bunch of stretches like this, you could go for a walk, a light walk, just get that going. So, but I do upload these videos to YouTube. So if you guys, I know on Saturdays we don't have classes, but if you guys wanted to, you could always leave your email address on the chat, and I'll make sure to share the video link later on once it's uploaded. And once you're there, you can subscribe. There's probably over 100 videos now. So a lot of home workouts. Some movements might get repetitive, but we do change the amount of repetitions that we do, or the time, or the rest, or the I guess the intervals. So sometimes we just do a different exercise instead of another. So yeah, so if you're interested in those, that's always there as well. Let's push down on that knee. All right, let's bring that knee up. So again, these stretches that we're just doing focuses on your piriformis, which is kind of like this back muscle here. If that muscle happens to be really tight, your sciatic nerve kind of runs through it. So if it's really tight, that nerve could get pinched. That's kind of why I've never had any sciatic nerve issues. I hear it's very painful because you get that sensation on your back. Um, I don't want to feel that sensation, so just being preventative and continuing to do these stretches. So try to do these stretches at least once a day if possible. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and do hip openers. So just working in on some joint mobility around our hips. So knees are pointing forward. I'm going to bring that knee out. I'm just going to push it out. Kind of have this L shape here. And then switch. I usually try to also push this with my hand, push that knee back so I can get a nicer stretch on that inner groin hip flexor. Nice. All right, back on our feet. We're going to do our other leg. So now our right leg is going to be back, left foot's going to be forward. So again, left foot up front, right leg back. And I think for our younger population, I had a client who probably around 22 years old. I was trying to do single leg exercises with him, and he had a hard time. He's definitely strong enough to hold that weight, but his balance was not there. And I know a lot of my students in these classes have a lot better balance. And that's because we do practice that several times a week. So yeah, just be consistent with it. Get a little bit easier. Let's go left to right. Up and down. All right, we're gonna close our eyes. Again, if you feel like you're falling or you don't feel safe, just open your eyes. But if you could tolerate it a little bit, just try to work through it. Shift your weight to different areas of your foot. You might feel your feet trying to grab the floor and grip the floor a little bit. All right, let's open your eyes. Stop that shaking. Let's lift, elevate that hind leg. Let's drop that. Okay. Very good. All right, let's go ahead. Transitioning back to our chair. We're gonna get the last of our chair exercises done here. One thing before we sit down, if you have a golf ball, a tennis ball, I have a lacrosse ball that I like because the size and the firmness on it. Go ahead and grab that item. If you don't have a golf ball or a tennis ball, what you could grab too could be like a canned good, maybe a can of beans, a can of corn. You can do that as well. But a ball is definitely easier. So I'll give you guys about a minute to do that. So go ahead. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and begin with some leg extensions. Okay, so leg extensions at the gym typically works out your quad. Right now, as a stretch, it's gonna stretch out your hamstring. So we're just gonna recline back, grab a hold right behind your knee. We're just lightly gonna extend. And I just heard a little pop around my knee. Again, sometimes these tendons happen to rub up against the joint, or they're caught in a little area, a little bump on the joint, and when they slip out, you might hear that sound. If there's no pain, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. But if you hear a pop and there's pain, definitely might want to run to the urgent care. All right, we're gonna, once that's loosened up a little bit, we're gonna bring that leg even further up and just begin to lengthen that as well. All right, we're gonna rest that leg, switch to the other leg, opposite leg. So we're here. All right, a little bit higher. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and do some complete leg raise. Okay, so what I mean by that is that leg is straight instead of just working on that lower leg. We're gonna lift the entire leg up, down. We're only gonna do about 8 of these, because this one, you do it long enough, it does become a workout. All right. Cool. All right. This one that we're gonna do, um, it's for our LCL, which is one of the cruciate ligaments that runs through your knee, and then your MCL, which I'm sure some people have heard from soccer injuries. ACL is the one that runs up front, and then PCL runs behind it. So what I want to do is just kind of grab a hold, almost how we were doing for the leg extensions, just right behind the knee. But this time I want you to just kind of, like the clock tower, just kind of, that's chime, or I'm not sure what the term is, but that little item that rocks back and forth. That's what we want to do here. Okay, so we want that LCL to stretch kind of this way, and that MCL to stretch this way. It's kind of like pulling a little bit, just activating it. Because if you're not doing a lot of lateral movement or medial movement with your legs, then those tendons, it's one of those, if you don't use them, you lose them. So that goes to every body part. So you kind of don't want to have a car sitting out on the street for weeks on end. You want to turn it on here and there. Okay. We'll switch. And again, this one is probably one of the movements that feels like you're not doing very much. Again, those tendons aren't made to move in a, I guess, to stretch out very much either. So otherwise, these legs would kind of just be going left to right here, and we would look really funny, especially when we walk. So awesome. Okay, I'm gonna drop the camera a little bit. Now we're gonna work on our calves. So the way to do that is we're just gonna do heel raises. So again, just here, up, heel raises. You want to hold up top for about a second. All right, now we're going to work on our anterior tibialis, which is the muscle that runs on the front part. A lot of people think when they have shin splints, that's what they have to work out. Sometimes tight calves causes that pain. Keep those toes up towards the ceiling. Awesome. And all right, this is another fun one right here. So, and I do elevate my leg for this one. I'm just going to do, or you can keep that leg straight. So we're just going to do the ABCs. Okay, so just with your ankle, just draw the shapes, the letters of the alphabet. Once you're done, you can switch. This ankle's popping a little bit more. All right. Now what I want you to do is grab that item that I asked you to grab, can of corn, it could be a water bottle. Water bottle does give in, so you want to get a lot of pressure. I like a golf ball because it is firm. A tennis ball, if you have sensitive arches, could be just enough, but if your arches are really nice and healthy, then the tennis ball might be too soft. So I have this lacrosse ball, which is the size of a tennis ball, a little smaller, but firmer. Okay, so I'm just gonna roll just back and forth my foot. I happen to be flat-footed, so my feet always feel tenderness when I'm doing these. You find this tender spot, a spot that doesn't feel too great, and I want you to focus on that spot. Okay, so maybe not exactly on that spot, but maybe about half an inch away to the left, right, up or down a bit, and then just apply some pressure there. And let's go to the other direction around that spot. Again, apply more pressure, so push down on that. Let's continue. Okay, let's switch foot. I'm just gonna go back and forth. Again, this is I used to have one of these items below my desk, and I was working a lot from my desk. I just have one of these below my desk and just kind of roll out. And I also had this other item that looked like, you know, it's probably about 8 inches wide. No, about 5 inches wide, about 8 inches long, and it had a bunch of marbles running through it. And I just kind of roll my foot on that too. So just the tenderness on the foot. Okay. So let's find that foot. Let's find that spot that's a little bit tender. Again, if you don't have any tender spots, then just kind of roll back and forth. But if you look enough, you might find something. Again, just shift that pressure. Alrighty. Okay. So let's go ahead. We're gonna finish off on the floor. So grab your yoga mats We're gonna be on the floor now. And stretch out our back. So we're gonna be doing some back exercises. So hopefully getting on the floor isn't too painful for you. Hopefully you're comfortable. Yeah. Right, so we're here laying down. Okay, we're gonna be on our side. I'm gonna have I'm on my right side. Right hand is out, left hand is on top of that. I'm gonna tuck in my knees a little bit. And what I wanna do here is with my eyes, I wanna follow this hand that's moving. I'm just gonna follow it all the way back until it makes contact with the ground. And then recover, and you notice that my legs, my feet didn't move. Okay, I didn't do this here. Okay, you just stay planted, and we're gonna do 10 of these on each side. Okay, so when you're ready, go ahead. Each repetition should take you about 8 seconds, maybe even 10. That's number 8 right now. All right, great. Okay, so now I'm gonna switch sides. If you're not done yet, don't worry about it. Just continue, and then just once you're ready, just get back on the other side, and we'll be doing the same thing. So again, hopefully you're feeling the stretch. So again, here, open up. Okay. All right. Take a little bit of water. Need it. Okay. Great. We can stretch out our legs a little bit here. So again, just on your back. You're gonna bring your right knee up. Just pull that up towards your chest. Feel the stretch by your glute. Then grab here, and then you're just gonna do maybe 10 little pumps with leg extensions. And back. And again, gonna switch legs. Just bring that knee and it's elevated. Again, 10 pumps. Awesome. Next, I want you to have your arms at your side. You're gonna bring your knees up right above your hips. Okay, you could cross your feet if you like. And then we're just gonna allow our knees to drop to our side without letting our arms leave the mat. And then we're just gonna go back to the other side. So we want to do about 5 or 6 on each side. And you should feel this on your back as well. All right, awesome. All right, we're gonna do one more stretch. We should be good to get our Sunday going. Okay. All right. So this is another one that I do often. So again, quadruped position. If you ever hear me say that, we're gonna get on our horse, wrist right below our shoulders. So you see on that here, right, your wrist right below the shoulders, knees right below the hips. Okay, and that further back, right below the hips. Gonna arch up. I'm gonna look down. And I'm gonna bring my glutes to my heels. Okay. Once I'm there, I can reach forward with my hands in front of me and drop my elbows and just do this stretch for about 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Just hang out here till we're done. So just hold it. Reset. Now we're going to stretch on the left side of our back. So what I want you to do is just with your hands shift over about a foot, maybe a foot and a half off the mat, or just from that original spot. Arch your back first, and then bring your glutes back to your heels. And you should feel that stretch on your left back, maybe on your left ribs. Continue looking down. Reset. Our last one, we're just going to go to the opposite side. Arch your back. All right, very well. Good stuff. Good job, guys. Great stretching session. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit more loose in the end the recording. But any